3 elite black coaches, NBA Finals champ, $95 million contract king, national champ architect, all ruined by white women affairs. Suspended, fired, jailed. Racism or self-sabotage? Full shocking story now. In the high-stakes world of sports coaching, where triumphs and scandals collide, consider the story of Ime Udoka, the Boston Celtics rising star who led his team to the NBA Finals in 2021, only to face a full-season suspension on September 22, 2022, for violating team policies. Just a year earlier, he was among the league's most celebrated coaches, yet the organization chose a decisive path forward. Reflecting later with the Houston Rockets, Udoka embraced accountability in a raw interview. "Yeah, honestly, my part was to own it and take responsibility. They made their choice. I served the suspension, preaching the same to my players. It was their right, and I respected it." This narrative echoes in the 2023 downfall of Mel Tucker, another black head coach on a lavish 10-year, $95 million contract with Michigan State Spartans, abruptly fired for alleged sexual harassment during a phone call with a prominent activist he'd hired to address his team. The university terminated the deal less than 2 years in, amid his wife's divorce filing, paralleling Udoka's case, where an affair with a married colleague cost him everything, both incidents involving non-black women and sparking pointed debates on patterns black men in power should heed. Enter Sherrone Moore, the trailblazing offensive lineman-turned-coach from Kansas, who climbed from Central Michigan's tight ends role to Michigan Wolverines' offensive coordinator, pivotal in their 2024 national title win under Jim Harbaugh. When Harbaugh bolted to the NFL's LA Chargers, Moore ascended to head coach, inheriting a squad in rebuild. Yet, the Harbaugh-era sign-stealing scandal cast long shadows. Moore sat out 2 games on suspension, unable to practice or connect with players, costing Michigan victories, much like Harbaugh's penalties that sidelined him from college football entirely. Despite the turbulence, Moore's record shines through adversity, 8-5 in 2024's rebuild year, now 7-3 this season with a competitive loss to Ohio State on a young roster, totaling 16-8 as head man. But recent rumors this month add fuel. Insiders whisper of a type. Multiple pursuits of slender, blonde white women aged 25 to 39, with exchanges reportedly witnessed firsthand. Michigan AD Ward Manuel is in deep talks, aware of the stakes. He has a type, and while preferences are personal, chasing 5 fits the profile, raises eyebrows unbecoming of leadership, one source hinted informally, underscoring the tightrope black coaches walk between brilliance and backlash in America's arenas. University insiders had long been aware of Sherrone Moore's off-field entanglements, raising questions about how he held onto his role for so long amid the whispers. Reports confirmed pursuits of multiple women around the University of Michigan campus, with Paige Shiver emerging as the central figure, a staffer who joined in November 2021 as recruiting and football operations coordinator under Jim Harbaugh, then rose to executive assistant to the head coach in February 2024, right after Moore's promotion. Unlike Ime Udoka and Mel Tucker, both entangled with black partners at the time of their scandals, Moore was already married since 2015 to Kelly Moore, a white woman, aligning with his reported preferences. Allegations escalated when Shiver reportedly became pregnant by him. Discovery of the affair led to his firing, voiding a $6.1 million annual contract and citing clauses on conduct offensive to public decency, moral standards, or anything harming the program's reputation, clauses that justified termination without payout. Post-firing chaos allegedly included Moore breaking into Shiver's home, though details remain sidelined here. This mirrors cases like Bobby Petrino's 2012 Arkansas downfall from a similar staff affair, underscoring a universal trap for coaches. Elite performance opens elite doors, but restraint is non-negotiable, especially for black men in these rarefied spaces where any misstep amplifies into exile. At 39, with a promising resume tied to Michigan's 2024 title, Moore now faces slim prospects, no felonies needed, just reputational ruin. Smaller programs like Middle Tennessee State might gamble on his offensive line expertise and recruiting savvy, or an HBCU could, But rebuilding from scratch demands he fades into obscurity first, a stark lesson in power's fragility. To rebuild from rock bottom, Sherrone Moore could target a Mid-American Conference gig at a place like Ball State or Toledo, where stacking dominant wins might eventually reopen doors to Power 5 glory in the Big Ten or SEC. But why gamble away a once-in-a-lifetime peak for momentary lapses when true leadership hinges on unyielding self-control? In the cutthroat arenas of professional sports and college athletics, where glory and ruin often dance on the edge of a single misstep, Black coaches like Ime Udoka, Mel Tucker, and Sherrone Moore have etched cautionary tales into the annals of leadership's unforgiving ledger. Picture this: environments dominated by white power brokers, vast networks of alumni donors, corporate sponsors, and administrative gatekeepers who hold the keys to multi-million-dollar empires. Here, Black men navigate with razor-thin tolerance for slip-ups, their every move scrutinized under a microscope that amplifies flaws into fatal cracks. Without owning the empire, a Diddy-like fortress built on unassailable clout, personal branding, and financial independence that warps the rules in your favor, reckless moves get sniffed out fast, turning whispers into wildfires that consume careers overnight. Udoka, Tucker, and Moore each torched nine-figure futures over liaisons with white women, not because of the relationships themselves, but because personal preferences must kneel to the ironclad priority of preserving that paycheck at any cost. This isn't mere gossip. It's a masterclass in survival, where excellence earns the seat at the table, but indiscretion yanks it away, leaving echoes of what if in boardrooms and locker rooms alike. Delve deeper into the machinery of these power structures, and the dynamics reveal layers of historical and cultural friction. White-dominated institutions, from NBA front offices to Big Ten athletic departments, operate on unspoken codes: loyalty to the brand, moral optics for boosters, and zero tolerance for scandals that could spook advertisers or regulators. For Udoka, the Boston Celtics wunderkind who piloted them to the 2021 NBA Finals amid roaring acclaim, the 2022 suspension for an affair with a married staffer wasn't just a policy violation, it was a seismic rupture in that code. He owned it publicly later with the Houston Rockets, admitting accountability in a voice stripped bare. Taking responsibility mirrored the preachings he gave his players. Yet, the fallout was swift, a full-season ban that severed his trajectory. Tucker followed suit at Michigan State, his $95 million, 10-year pact shredded in 2023 over harassment claims tied to a phone call with an activist speaker. Moore, the architect of Michigan's 2024 national championship grind, inherited Harbaugh's throne only to crumble under similar weights. A staffer named Paige Shiver, promoted amid his rise, allegedly pregnant by him while he was married to Kelly Moore since 2015. Each case? Entanglements with white women that crossed professional lines, igniting clauses on public decency, moral standards, and reputational harm, contract killers that voided fortunes without a severance parachute. At 39, pulling $6.1 million a year as Michigan's head man, a sum that places him among the elite, with a 16-8 record blending rebuild grit, 8-5 in 2024, and current promise, 7-3, competitive against Ohio State. Moore wagered it all on Shiver's charms. A head-turner, no doubt, with her trajectory from recruiting coordinator in 2021 under Harbaugh to executive assistant post his promotion. She embodied the allure of proximity in these insulated worlds. But hardly worth the ashes of his empire. Post-firing, rumors swirled of a home break-in, further tainting his ledger, while university insiders admitted knowing his type, slender blondes aged 25 to 39 for years. She could catch heat too, perhaps demotion or dismissal, but Hill forever donned the black hat, the villain in headlines that paint black men as the disruptors, the risks, the ones who couldn't resist. This brutal truth etches itself eternally. Brilliance pries open elite gates, forged through Moore's climb from Kansas offensive lineman to Central Michigan tight ends coach, then Michigan's line wizardry fueling titles. Yet foolishness, chasing fleeting thrills amid a marriage, ignoring the panopticon of campus eyes, bolts them shut, leaving a 39-year-old prodigy scouting MAC benches at Ball State or Toledo, clawing for redemption wins to glimpse Power 5 light again. Expand this lens, and the pattern transcends individuals, whispering systemic undercurrents. Black coaches arrive via exceptionality, Udoka's tactical genius, Tucker's bold hire, Moore's championship blueprint. They shatter barriers, first in their realms, only to face amplified accountability. White counterparts like Bobby Petrino in 2012 at Arkansas tumbled similarly over a staffer affair, motorcycle crash exposing it all, yet his path looped back faster through coordinator roles. For Black men, the margin shrinks, history's ghosts, stereotypes of hypersexuality, disloyalty, fuel quicker triggers. You have to be elite to get in, the narrative hammers, and restrained to stay. Moore's saga underscores it. Sign-stealing scandals from Harbaugh's era already sidelined him for games, but personal folly sealed exile. No felony required, just conduct offensive to public decency, a vague sword dangling over every contract, wielded when optics sour. Insiders knew, whispers circulated. Why retain him? Perhaps talent's pull, or Harbaugh loyalty's residue. But Discovery flipped the script, pregnancy allegations the detonator. Now, reimagine the roadmap back for a fallen star like Sherrone Moore. It plunges straight into MAC purgatory, that gritty Mid-American Conference grind where schools like Ball State or Toledo become proving grounds not for mere survival, but for outright dominance. We're talking stacking stats that turn heads, 10-win seasons that echo through recruiting circuits, top-tier classes pulled in via his unmatched pipeline prowess, forged from years of offensive line wizardry and Harbaugh-era connections. Only then, after years of toiling in the shadows, might Big Ten or SEC suitors crack open the door, peering in warily but ultimately wooed by a trail of undeniable wins that scream redemption. HBCUs hover as viable lifelines, their prestige offering a fresh start untainted by Power 5 baggage, yet the gaps loom large. Jumping ship from Michigan's throne to FAMU or Jackson State carries a subtle demotion in the eyes of the industry's elite gatekeepers. Smaller schools might gamble big on his mastery of the trenches, handing him coordinator keys or even head gigs at places like Middle Tennessee State, but at what soul-crushing cost? Picture grinding mid-tier irrelevance from the tender age of 39, his prime years slipping away as he rebuilds an aura from scratch, forced to watch peers, those who dodged the pitfalls, ascend to seven-figure thrones while he diagrams plays in half-empty stadiums under Friday night lights. Why crash your shot? That searing question burns at the heart of it all, a rallying cry echoing through locker rooms and barbershops alike. Leadership's unyielding core reveals itself here. $6.1 million a year doesn't buy outright ownership. It merely rents a blinding spotlight under a relentless, unblinking gaze that spares no one, least of all those who've clawed their way to rarity. In these white-dominated spaces, boardrooms lined with legacy donors, athletic departments steered by old money alumni, front offices echoing with unspoken hierarchies, visibility slices both ways like a double-edged sword forged in fire. Adoration rains down for gridiron victories, parade routes packed with maize and blue faithful after that 2024 national title glow. Annihilation strikes swift for vices exposed, turning heroes into headlines overnight. Moore's saga isn't isolated. It's the latest verse in a ballad of brilliance betrayed by base impulses, where the thrill of the chase overrides the throne's weight. Contrast this with Diddy's archetype, the ultimate empire builder, a mogul whose scandals, when they inevitably erupt like volcanoes, bend and buckle under the sheer mass of his constructed fortress. Own the labels pumping hits into eternity, the venues throbbing with bad boy energy, the narrative spun through media empires and celebrity orbits. True clout insulates like Kevlar, allowing missteps to ricochet off rather than detonate within. Udoka now preaches accountability from Houston's sidelines, his voice steady in redemption arcs. Tucker litigates from shadowed corners, clawing at legal vindication. Moore licks fresh wounds, tallying the ashes of a voided contract. None owned enough to weather the storm. Preferences, no matter how fiercely held, dissolve into irrelevance when the raw wisdom lands. Your preference needs to be keeping your damn job. At 39, in the full bloom of coaching prime, Pulling that $6.1 million bounty that stratifies him among the gods of the gridiron, Moore wagered it all. Marriage forged in 2015 to Kelly Moore, fortune stacked in Michigan's vaults, a future etched in championship blueprints, on the fleeting charms of Paige Shiver. A head-turner, undeniably, her rise from 2021 recruiting coordinator under Harbaugh to executive assistant mirroring his own ascent, proximity breeding that dangerous spark in insulated athletic villages. But hardly worth the smoldering ashes of his empire. Post-firing chaos whispers of a desperate home break-in, further blackening his ledger, while insiders nod knowingly at his type, slender blondes in that 25 to 39 sweet spot, pursuits documented across campus, like a poorly scripted drama. She could catch heat too, demotion or dismissal shadowing her steps as collateral in the fallout, but he'll forever don the black hat, the villain etched in scarlet letters across sports pages, fan forums, and donor briefings. This brutal truth carves itself eternally into the stone of ambition. Brilliance Prize opened those elite gates, hammered wide by Moore's improbable climb, from Kansas offensive lineman grinding walk-on dreams, to Central Michigan tight ends maestro, then Michigan's line savant fueling Harbaugh's title machine with trench warfare tenacity. Yet foolishness, chasing cheeks amid vows, blind to the panopticon of whispers, texts, and sidelong glances, bolts them shut with a clang that reverberates through generations. This saga ripples wider than and arbors horizons, washing over young black aspirants clogging coaching pipelines from D2 outposts to FBS fringes, forcing them to internalize the tightrope's terror. Excellence alone proves insufficient armor. Character must plate it thick, unyielding as diamond. Recruiters now probe personal lives with surgical precision pre-hire, diving into social media scrolls for red flags, cross-referencing whispers from prior stops, building dossiers thicker than playbooks. Michigan's AD Ward Manuel embodies the exquisite bind in crisis huddles, a black trailblazer enforcing the rigor of white structures, torn between brotherhood and boardroom mandates, as donors dictate decency standards with checkbooks as cudgels and programs prioritize purity optics above all. It's a high-wire act writ large, Manuel navigating the donor gauntlet, balancing legacy hires against liability landmines, all while the national title glow fades under scandal's glare. Broader still, these falls interrogate the ecosystem. Do they fuel reform, dismantling vague morality clauses that swing like pendulums, or merely reinforce the gates, stacking decks higher against the next black phenom? History offers mirrors. Bobby Petrino's 2012 Arkansas tumble over a staffer affair and motorcycle wreckage looped him back via coordinator gigs. Art Briles' Baylor implosion lingered longer, yet paths diverged by pigment and privilege. Yet amid the embers, hope flickers defiant. Resilience rebounds like a quarterback scramble, turning touchdowns from touchlines. Udoka thrives in Houston, mentoring with renewed fire, his Rockets' tenure a testament to owned accountability blooming anew. Tucker fights corners in courtrooms, litigating shadows into potential payouts, refusing erasure. Moore, pipelines intact like veins of gold, recruiting Rolodexes humming with blue-chip bonds. Could Phoenix, via sheer persistence, grinding Mac meat grinders into glory reels? Lessons crystallize sharp. Harness brilliance as your engine. Holster impulses in vaults of discipline. Build boards of allies, not just benches of talent. Cultivate donor darlings, media shields, legal fortresses pre-scandal. Own narratives from the jump, scripting your story before headlines hijack it. 4 black men ascending these razor-thin paths. It's not paranoia festering in the gut. It's prudence, cold and calculated, demanding diamond discipline that polishes raw talent into untouchable legacy. Zoom out further, and the cultural calculus deepens. Black excellence in white spaces demands a bifurcated existence. Public paragon by day, private sentinel by night. Social media's panopticon amplifies this, where a single DM screenshot spirals into doom scrolls. Donors, those titans of tailgates and luxury boxes, wield veto power veiled as virtue. Optics over outcomes, purity pledges trumping playbook genius. Programs like Michigan, with their billion-dollar brands buoyed by TV deals and nil tsunamis, can't afford the ripple of reputational tsunamis. Contrast international lanes. European soccer's Jose Mourinho weathers tempests with trophy hauls. NFL's Bill Belichick dodged Spygate shadows via rings. But college hoops and pigskin's American crucible burns hotter for Black pioneers, where first status invites forensic scrutiny. Moore's 16-8 ledger, 8-5 rebuild grid in 2024, 7-3 promise now. Ohio State fight on youthful legs, evaporated not for losses, but liaisons, underscoring victory's fragility. Rehearse the rebound ritual. Ball State arrival demands instant ignition. Offensive line clinics drawing NFL scouts. 9-win breakthroughs flipping MAC narratives. Toledo follow-up. Undefeated conference runs. Playoff nods. Stack them like cordwood, and Power 5 whispers grow to roars. Perhaps a Maryland homecoming or Vanderbilt reboot. HBCUs shine brighter here. SWAC supremacy at Alabama State. Rebuilding Grambling into a Zarvakea, leveraging HBCU networks for HBCU hires. Cost? Times thief. 39 becomes 45. Peers at Michigan helm titles while he tutors trenches. Elite to enter, saints to stay, the axiom mutters. Diddy's blueprint beckons. Bad boy to billionaire, scandals as speed bumps on mogul highways. Udoka embodies partial phoenix. Tucker, defiant clawback. Moore, the test case. Young guns absorb via osmosis. Jesse Minter types, Demetrius Martin risers. Bet every vice, armor every angle. Recruiters' checklists evolve. Character composite scores, social audits, spousal vetting. ADs like Manuel pioneer protocols, threading loyalty through liability. Reforms simmer, contract clarities, DI-driven decency metrics, but gates harden first, reformers lagging reactionaries. Ultimately, talent's trumpet blares, yet temptation's siren lures louder without guardrails. System stacks? Undeniably, but agency arms the ascent. These falls? Catalysts or cautions? Viewer verdict. Does Moore mentor mid-majors into miracles? Tucker triumph in tribunals? Udoka uplift Rocket's realms? Phoenix paths pave precedents. Dive deep, dissect dynamics. It's your boy Ashdu Jackson on Celebrity Junk, unpacking power's perils with unfiltered fire. Does brilliance bend systems, or break on their blades? Talent over temptation, or decks forever dealt dirty? Reforms rising, or gates granite? Spill stories, sound off below. Wives, wallets, wisdom at stake. Subscribe now. Smash that bell for raw reckonings. Share the saga. We're out. Rise relentless. Rule restrained. Keep climbing clean. Music swells. Heavy beats thump with triumphant horns blaring defiance. Bass drops echoing resilience, fading into pulsing calls to action. Subscribe chimes. Bell rings. Screen fades to black with fiery logo blaze.